Girl, close the door. Because what I am about to tell you is not just another rap beef. It is war, digital, emotional, and messy beyond belief. The kind of messy that spills out from the studio into every corner of social media. And this time, it is Cardi B versus Nicki Minaj. Again. But trust me, this round hit different, darker, more personal, and more shocking than anyone could have predicted. It all began like a calm before the storm. Cardi had just dropped her new album, the internet was celebrating, fans were vibing, and for a moment, peace felt possible in the rap universe. But then, something changed. Without warning, tweets started flying like bullets. Retweets, shade, cryptic lyrics, and before anyone could take a breath, two of the biggest female rappers in the world were clawing at each other's legacy in public. No filters. No mercy. Just raw energy and ego. The timeline started buzzing when Nicki began retweeting posts about her record-breaking numbers. She had every right to brag, years of hard work had earned her that crown. But the timing? Oh, that timing was lethal. Because the internet was already celebrating Cardi's comeback, her first album in 7 years, and fans were arguing about whether she sold 199,600 copies or a perfect 200,000. And right in the middle of that heated discussion, Nicki hit the retweet button on a post that screamed, "Nicki Minaj's Pink Friday 2 remains the biggest first-week debut for a female rap album this decade." The message was clear and brutal. The queen was reclaiming her throne. Now, people started whispering. Was that shade? Is Nicki taking shots? Was Cardi the target? And before long, that whisper became a roar. Because Nicki did not stop. She doubled down. Retweet after retweet, stats, records, Spotify numbers, all pointing to one message: there is only one queen of rap. And then, the gloves came off. Nicki dropped a tweet so venomous, it felt like a diss track disguised as a poem. Barney Dangerous, ABCDEFG, falling off the charts with a big belly, running trains, barefoot, still smelly, still could not outsell me. It was brutal. Petty. Unfiltered. And every line was a dagger aimed straight at Cardi B. The internet exploded. Memes flooded X, Twitter. TikTok creators went live mid-scroll, gasping as they read it out loud. Fans chose sides. Hashtags like hashtag Nicki vs Cardi and hashtag Rap War Reloaded trended globally. The drama was officially out of control. And Cardi? She was not about to stay quiet. Oh no. She hit back, and she hit hard. Cardi retweeted a fan post that reminded everyone who she was. What did Cardi B say on her #1 album? Oh yeah, must have got notifications and alerts, because everything I do, a hater be seeing first. Then she fired off her own words, pure fire, Coca-Cola Barbie, the power I have makes these girls come out of rehab every time. Go to your room. Nothing more annoying than a bored woman. You must have missed me, huh? Now kiss my feet. The audacity. The confidence. The venom. Cardi made it clear, she was not playing nice anymore. She was ready for war. But Nicki, oh, she was not backing down either. She fired another shot, darker, sharper, dragging Cardi's personal life into the chaos. Raw dogging pregnant with the fourth babe. Barbie BBBHPV. It was low. It was controversial. It was exactly the kind of chaos the internet feeds on. By this point, Twitter felt like a battlefield, stan armies fighting, screenshots being weaponized, and fan pages turning into war rooms. Every line, every emoji, every punctuation mark became a clue in this ongoing rap Cold War. And the scariest part? Nobody knew where it would end. Because in this world, one tweet, one lyric, one subtle shade can destroy careers, friendships, and even legacies. And both these women? They were fighting for more than numbers. They were fighting for the crown. Girl, when I tell you this fight went from music to madness, I mean it. What started as a few tweets quickly spiraled into a full-blown war zone, the kind of war that does not stay online, the kind that drags families, relationships, and reputations into the fire. This was not just shade anymore. It was destruction, one tweet, one picture, one lyric at a time. Because when Cardi clapped back, she did it with her whole chest. And baby, she did not hold back. She started off by throwing words so vicious, they could burn through a timeline. Your man has to snatch pee. Pee tastes like honeycomb. Your bro be touching 12-year-olds. Yes. She said that. The internet froze. Nobody breathed. Because this was not subtle shade, this was a public execution. And she was not done. Cardi followed it up with another verbal slap that had the rap community gasping. Why you keep bringing up my album? That is not the gag that you think it is. You have been in this game 16 years. You need to compare yourself to your peers, Rihanna, Taylor Swift, Drake. Those are the numbers you should be competing with. Not me. I was in high school when you came out. Why are you comparing yourself to me? The crowd went wild. Memes flooded the timeline. Every reaction was louder than the last. Some fans called it bold, others called it reckless. But everyone agreed, Cardi was done playing nice. And then came the line that set the internet on fire. Now this is the third tweet talking about my pregnancy, like you were not visiting fertility doctors because you could not reproduce after all those men scrambled your eggs. Not allegedly. Lord, protect my babies, she ended, but the damage was already done. The audacity. The fearlessness. Cardi had just taken one of the biggest risks of her career by going that personal, that raw. And to twist the knife deeper, she posted a photo, Nicki's brother, wearing a pink Barbie wig, the same kind Nicki herself is known for. The internet combusted. It was pure chaos, thousands of quote tweets, millions of views, influencers going live mid-scroll just to react. It was the kind of moment that stops the internet. But Nicki Minaj? She was not about to let that slide. Not even for a second. Within hours, she struck back, ruthless and strategic. She posted a photo of Jay-Z in a pink Barbie wig, tears streaming down his face, and another image of Cardi in a Barney suit. But here is the thing, that Barney photo was not random. It was a callback to the infamous 2018 New York Fashion Week fight, the one where shoes were thrown, wigs were snatched, and reputations were bruised. That reference was petty perfection. Nicki knew exactly what she was doing, and the internet rewarded her with chaos. By now, social media was a battlefield. Every emoji had a meaning. Every caption was decoded. Every fanbase became a detective agency. The tension was thick, you could feel it through the screen. And just when everyone thought things could not get any messier, they did. Enter JT. JT came in laughing, mocking, and ready to cause more damage. LOL, that woman home ugly and mad. No celebration. I would have been breakdancing if I was number one, but she knows she lied. That tweet hit like a grenade. Fans instantly noticed how fast JT jumped into the fire, how comfortable she seemed picking a side. And the theories? They started flying. People said JT's timing was too perfect. That she was trying to get back on Nicki's good side after their earlier drama. That it was not just shade, it was strategy. The internet never forgets, and the fans? They were connecting dots. Old tweets resurfaced. Lyrics got dissected. Suddenly, everyone remembered that Cardi had already dissed JT on her track Magnet, calling her Nicki's lapdog, who still had nothing to show for it. And that is when the story took a darker turn. Because Cardi's lyrics were not just mean, they were surgical. You a shady woman. You have been trashed since birth. Mama did not want you. Brenda's baby, bottom feeder, she rapped. Then came the bar that made the whole internet freeze. All that man writing, still ain't get no feature. She just mad she got a man who be sharing bags with my man's cheat. People lost their minds. That last line? It hinted at something bigger, a rumor that had been floating around for months about JT's boyfriend, Lil Uzi Vert. Suddenly, every old clip, every Instagram live, every awkward moment became evidence. Memes, think pieces, and Twitter threads took over the feed. It was no longer just rap, it was reality television with microphones. And when JT fired back, she made sure her words cut deep too. She mocked Cardi's marriage, her insecurities, her obsession with validation. She said Cardi's career was built on controversy, not talent. She accused her of being addicted to attention, not artistry. At that point, it was not even about music anymore. It was personal. The fan bases went to war, Team Nicki versus Team Cardi, and in between it all, JT was fanning the flames. Every like, every retweet, every emoji was a weapon. The Barbs fought like soldiers. The Bardi gang hit back with screenshots, interviews, and old receipts. And as the internet watched this unfold like a digital apocalypse, one thing became painfully clear: this was no longer a rap beef. This was legacy versus relevance. Pride versus pain. And in the middle of it all, millions of people were watching, waiting, and whispering, who will survive this war of words? What came next was not just drama. It was a cultural collapse, the moment the illusion of unity in female rap shattered for everyone to see. Once upon a time, the headline said, "Women supporting women." They said collaboration, empowerment, breaking barriers. But now? It looked more like survival. Every new artist walking into the industry had to make a choice, Cardi or Nicki. There was no peace treaty, no middle ground. If you stayed quiet, you were labeled fake. If you spoke, you were dragged. And JT? Her decision to jump into the chaos reminded everyone just how toxic that line had become. Instead of sisterhood, there was suspicion. Instead of unity, competition. Years of unspoken resentment had finally spilled out, and it was ugly. The internet began pulling up the receipts. Throwback clips of Lil Kim versus Foxy Brown, Remy Ma versus Nicki Minaj, and now, Nicki versus Cardi. It was like watching history repeat itself in high definition. Fans argued in threads and videos, dissecting every detail. Some said this was the nature of the game, rivalry fuels rap, conflict sells records. But others? They mourned it. They said it felt heavy now, exhausting, like watching queens destroy each other for the crowd's amusement. Still, one thing about Cardi B, she does not back down. She never has. When JT's comments started circling the internet like wildfire, Cardi played her moves like a master chess player. No shouting, no direct callouts, just silence and subtlety. She posted a photo lounging in head-to-toe designer, diamond nails gleaming under the flash. The caption? Still #1 without trying. The internet lost its mind. Then came a video clip, Cardi dancing to her own song, laughing, radiant. The caption read, "Ain't no fake love, just real results." It was shade, but it was classy shade, the kind that smiles while it stabs. Her comments were flooded. Queen energy. Unbothered. Period. Her fans lifted her up, while others accused her of playing victim. It was like watching a psychological chess match, each move a message, each silence louder than words. Meanwhile, Nicki played her game differently. She never had to say much, she implied. A single lyric, a perfectly timed emoji, a throwback photo, and the Barbs knew exactly what to do. They turned her subtlety into strategy. She had mastered the art of silence, controlling the narrative without ever saying a word. And beside her, standing like a loyal soldier, was JT. Every time JT defended Nicki, fans read it two ways. Some saw it as loyalty, admiration for the woman who paved the path. Others saw desperation, a reminder that JT had stood by Nicki for years, praising her, protecting her, and still had not gotten that collaboration she dreamed of. That silence from Nicki said everything. But just when it seemed the fire might settle, another name reignited it, Lil Uzi Vert. After Cardi's brutal lyric about sharing bags with my man's cheat, Uzi's name started trending. Old videos resurfaced, clips where he joked about fashion, accessories, even wearing feminine pieces. The trolls went wild. The speculation exploded. Some fans twisted the narrative, dragging Uzi into a feud that was never his. JT was furious. She fired back at the trolls, calling them obsessed and sick for trying to drag her man into rap beef. But once something hits the algorithm, it cannot be stopped. Gossip blogs ran with it. TikTok flooded with edits, Uzi's clips layered over Cardi's lyric, dramatic music swelling in the background. The internet had turned the feud into a circus, and everyone wanted a ticket. Yet underneath all that noise, something else was happening. Something darker. Because behind the jokes, the memes, the live streams, there was a kind of fascination. People could not look away. This was art meets ego, talent meets trauma. Hip-hop had always thrived on rivalry, it is part of its DNA. But this time, it felt different. It felt personal. Fans were no longer just spectators. They were participants, soldiers in a digital war armed with hashtags and screenshots. Every comment section became a battlefield. Every post turned into a manifesto. Barbs for life. Barty gang forever. City girls till the end. It was no longer about who made the better album. It was about who people believed deserved to exist at the top. Even industry insiders could not stay quiet. DJs, producers, and rappers all had something to say. Cryptic tweets started popping up, "This why unity never lasts." Y'all beefing over features when the bag is right there. Nobody named names, but everybody knew. Fans went digging again, pulling up old interviews where Cardi and JT once complimented each other, smiling like sisters. Now, those clips felt eerie. Like memories from a friendship that never stood a chance. And then, just when it felt like the internet had exhausted itself, Cardi went live. It was raw. Unfiltered. Unscripted. She never said Nicki or JT by name, but everyone knew exactly who she was talking about. "I never needed validation," she said, voice shaking with conviction. "These girls switch sides every time the wind blows. One minute they love you, the next they use your name for clout. I ain't pressed. I'm blessed." The live broke the internet. TikTok edits dropped within minutes. YouTube channels posted reaction videos before the stream even ended. It was the moment. Nicki, ever the strategist, responded in the only way she knows how, quiet, yet deafening. She tweeted a single winking emoji, followed by a pink bow. And that was enough. Her fans lost it. To them, that emoji was a message, the queen remains unbothered. JT liked the tweet seconds later. And that simple click, that one like, was all it took to reignite the fire. Screenshots flew across X. Cardi's fans accused JT of being a sidekick. Nicki's fans praised her for protecting the throne. News blogs, gossip pages, and YouTube reactors picked it up like clockwork. The craziest part? All of this, every tweet, every post, every emoji, was happening in real time. It was not just rap anymore. It was a digital empire built on ego, loyalty, and legacy. And somewhere between the chaos and the clout, the sisterhood died quietly, buried beneath hashtags, pride, and pink emojis. By the end of that week, it was no longer just drama, it was history unfolding in real time. News outlets picked it up. Podcasts were dissecting it. Talk shows were debating who started it, who crossed the line, and who was secretly winning the war. What began as a few impulsive tweets had transformed into a full-blown cultural event. It was not just about Nicki or Cardi anymore, it had become a mirror for the entire rap world. Every headline exposed how fragile the alliances in hip-hop really are, how loyalty bends under pressure, and how one lyric or one screenshot can ignite a wildfire that the entire internet rushes to watch burn. It showed what happens when fame becomes a battlefield, when egos clash louder than beats, and pride becomes the only weapon left. But it also reminded everyone why we watch. Because beneath the chaos, there is something deeply human about it, women standing their ground, defending their legacy, even when the cost is everything. It is messy, it is dramatic, it is painful, and yet, no one can look away. Just when the world thought the storm might settle, a whole new wave of chaos hit the timeline. Out of nowhere, a stylist named Chris Griffith resurfaced an old accusation, claiming that Stefan, someone connected to the scene, had allegedly tried to assault him. The internet was already on edge, and that claim set off another explosion. And who jumped into the conversation first? JT. Without hesitation, she posted, "This is insane and sad. Gay men should be protected. I feel like this is not being taken seriously enough." Then she took it further, tagging Cardi B, writing, "Cardi B baby father a gay man. Not because of how he dresses or expresses himself, but because Chris said it out of his mouth. Justice for Chris. I stand with the gays." The tweet went viral instantly. The tone was sharp, the accusation heavy, and the internet ate it up. She even tagged CNN, Donald Trump, and, for some reason, the country of Mexico. It was wild. People could not tell if it was activism, shade, or pure chaos. And then came the inevitable, "this you" moment. Someone dropped photos of Lil Uzi Vert wearing a dress, carrying a feminine bag, and suddenly the tables flipped. JT's words about protecting gay men came back around, but this time, aimed at her own partner. The comments were brutal, but JT was not backing down. She fired back, "Yes, my man does this. He minds his business, works hard, takes care of his family, inspires his generation, and his style is what made him Lil Uzi. We are talking about Chris right now. Focus." Her defense was passionate, but the damage was done, the internet was already spinning. Cardi saw it all, and she came prepared. Because if there is one thing she knows how to do, it is drop receipts. She hit the timeline with screenshots, texts between JT and Uzi that painted a picture far from the perfect couple JT always portrayed. The messages were personal, emotional, and messy. JT wrote,